Swordsman level. I had the Mystic Swordsman cards. And this archetype I found to be really, really useful up until I got to level 6, because then that card it wasn't good. I mean, like, level 4 and level 2 did the same thing as level 6, except for one thing. But, let me go ahead and tell you what these cards do. Mystic Swordsman level 2. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacked a face-down defense position monster, destroy that monster. Then during the end phase, if this card destroyed an opponent's monster, then you can send it to the graveyard to get out level 4 from your hand or deck. So this card doesn't require to go to the standby phase. You can get it off right off the bat, and then go into level 4. This card has the same effect. When it can attack a when it attacks a face-down monster, that monster is destroyed automatically. And then during the end phase, if it destroyed that monster, then you can send level 4 to the graveyard to get out level 6. So another thing really bad about this archetype is that level 4 and level 6 cannot be normal summoned, but they can be normal set, although the defense is just so bad, there's no reason to set them. Mystic Swordsman level 7 is okay, but because this archetype requires at least a good 3 turns to get out, then, by that time, your opponent would probably already have a monster with 2,000 attack points, which could run over their defense points. So why don't I just normal summon a level 4 and then level up it, because it cannot be normal summoned but can be normal set. So why don't I just go into level 2, level up, and then level up again? Well, that would waste both my level ups, and I would not have any for the other silent archetypes. So yeah, Mystics Silent are better than Mystics in my opinion. I am still waiting for the Mystic Magicians, though. That would be really cool. I mean, we got Silent Swordsmen. We need Mystic Magicians. Yeah! But now, into the spell cards. That's enough on the monsters. I've already explained why I have these fusions, except for this one. This one's a bit off. I just have it because it's good. It's just good. And it's a strong attack point monster, especially for a fusion. Plus, it gains attack points for every monster my opponent controls. And then, if I get out Dark Paladin, then, I gain 500 for each. And I have 3 in this deck, in my main deck, and then I have a few in my, I have 3 in my fusion. So right there's 6 monsters, and then that's 3,000 attack points for Dark Paladin. So, yeah. I just have this one mainly for attack points and whatnot. But anyway, so Anti-Magic Arrows, Yugi uses a similar card. I think he might have actually used Spell Shattering Arrows. Oh, sorry, yawning. I think he might have used Spell Shattering Arrows. I'm pretty sure he might have actually used both. But I like Anti-Magic Arrows just because it's a bit better in my opinion. It protects your monsters from card effects during the battle phase and whatnot. So, which is one of the main weaknesses of this deck, other than the silent archetypes to where they can't be affected by spell cards. Well, that's not really the worry during the battle phase. If your opponent's got back row and if your opponent has back row and you don't have anything, then you're screwed because you can't do anything. I don't have any cards in this deck that destroy back row other than Anti-Magic Arrows. So that's why it's a good idea to either stall and just wait for the back row to activate itself, or slowly get rid of it by baiting your attack with like Obnoxious Celtic Guardian or a Magnet Warrior, and then attack with a higher leveled monster or a higher stronger monster. Now we got Cost Down. I was debating to put this card in the deck, and I don't think Yugi actually uses this one, but I use it because there's so many monsters in this deck that are level 5 or higher that need tributed monsters, and this deck does not, have any special summon anything other than like Hall of the Haunted or Eye of Timaeus, because I mean, like, it's pretty hard to get out your higher level monsters, especially when you don't have cards like Ancient Rules. Is that actually the name of the card? Ancient Rules? Yeah, Ancient Rules, special summon 1 level 5 or higher monster. Normal monster from your hand. Now, I don't have this card in my deck because I only have 3, whereas if I had a card that would summon, level 5 or higher monster in general, then I would obviously play it because I have so many in here. Although, if there was a card like that, it would be so overpowered it would be banned, because there's so many decks that would use that. Galaxy Eyes, Blue Eyes. There's just too many counting what strong monsters would use that. Especially cards like, I'm pretty sure the God cards can all be special summoned, but they're just destroyed during the end phase. So there you go right there. You get a freaking God card out of that. So anyway, yeah, Cost Down, I have that. And I actually could normal summon Dark Magician Girl and Curse of Dragon and summon Skull with these cards. So that's really cool. And then, of course, with the level 5, I could also normal summon. So now I got Fusion Recovery. I have this card because, if I were to discard Polymerization for Cost Down or anything else, which I don't know what else I would discard it for, then I would get it back with Fusion Recovery, plus I would also get it back if I previously Fusion summoned. And because there's so many Fusion Material monsters in this deck, especially the dragons, I can just add the dragons back to my hand. And especially since I keep dead drawing my level 5 or higher monsters, since I can't do anything with them, then, you know, I could easily just Fusion summon. Now, I am debating to put Red Eyes in this deck so I can get out the Red Eyes Fusion, the newer one, but that wouldn't be Yugi, so I didn't end up putting that in this deck. But, you know, I would recommend Red Eyes if you like Joey and Yugi combination. So, again, I've already explained why I have level ups. I've already explained why I have Poly. Regeki's pretty obvious. Scapegoats I have for the defense. Now, I cannot tribute the monsters. However, they do help me a lot. Although, with the new Red Eyes support, or not Red Eyes, but the Red Dragon Archfiend support coming out continuously over and over again, Scapegoat's a bit, you know, it's in dead water. It's like, oh crap, Red Eyes or Red Dragon Archfiend, because Red Dragon Archfiend does a lot against special summon monsters and defense position monsters. That's why you never see super heavies in the OCG anymore, because freaking Red Dragon Archfiends are there now. So we got Swords of Revealing Light, pretty obvious, because if, you know, Swords would actually help with the level ups. With the Silence archetype, and then, you know, it also can let me stall to get out a better monster or possibly go into a fusion. I have Tamiya's pretty obvious. Storm, or Monarch Stormforth, why this card? Like, I had a character duel earlier today, and the guy rage quit because I used this card because it's not technically by Yugi. Yugi, I believe, uses Soul Exchange at one point. I know Kaiba does for sure, and I'm pretty sure Joey does. But I didn't use Soul Exchange because that card targets, whereas Stormforth does not, and targeting is a huge issue in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and especially with cards that do not target, such as Stormforth, because they're like, oh, you targeted my monster because you're using it for a tribute summon. Soul Exchange does do that, whereas Stormforth does not. That's why I recommend Stormforth. Now, again, it's not an exact Yugi card. If you want to be an exact fanboy of the Yugi series, then you do want to use Soul Exchange. However, I do not want to go through the crap of me targeting cards, so I'm using Stormforth. Next is Ties of the Brethren. This card is a bit different than the anime, and the reason being is because Ties of the Brethren in the OCG needs you to pay 2k life points. If you're playing 8,000, that boosts you down to 6k. If you play this during the middle of the duel, you probably already have 3,000 to 4,000 life points. Therefore, you'll be down to 2,000 or 1,000. So this card's a bit, you know, it's all or nothing. Reason I have this card in my deck is actually, I don't know why I have this in my deck. I had it for, originally I had the magnets in this deck. I had, I had gadgets. I had the gadgets. Oh, I had the gadgets in my deck. I had red, yellow, and green because Yugi uses these. Yami uses the Magnet Warriors. Yugi uses the gadgets. Now, they both actually do use both versions, but, you know, these cards aren't nearly as powerful as Valkyrion combined and the Magnet Warriors and whatnot. So, again, if you want to be a complete